Welcome back to another video, my friend. I'm Blake and you're you, and this is mono black zombies on a budget in Explorer. Now let's start taking a look at this list. We're just going to go right here looking at the very top, starting with Grey Merchant of Asphodel. One of my favorite cards to play. It's amazing in Commander, my favorite format, but also it's pretty good in this list here as we're running all black, so we actually get our devotion pretty high. My dog is coming up and he wants to say hi, so say hi to Whiskey. So, Grey Merchant says when this card enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, or where X is your devotion to black, and then you gain life equal to the life lost this way. It's a 2/4 zombie. So, we are leaning heavily into the zombie theme, but then also it just naturally has good amounts of devotion also, so this is a good cap off to the end. Now with the 4-drop slot, we're just running 4 copies of Death-Priest of Myrkul. This is a 2/2 for 4, but it gives all your skeletons, vampires, and zombies +1/+1, and then it gives you the ability to create some 1/1 zombie tokens as well. Onto the 3-drop slot, we have a couple interesting cards. Running 2 Acererak the Archlich. This card comes in and it lets you go into dungeons again and kind of blinks. So when Acererak the Archlich enters the battlefield, if you haven't completed Tomb of Annihilation, return him to its owner's hand and venture into the dungeon. Whenever he attacks for each opponent, you get to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token unless that player sacrifices a creature. So getting to go through this dungeon gets us a little bit of value, and also he is a zombie that later can make zombies if he lasts a while, so it gives us something to do in those games where you sort of putter out. We also have 2 Tymaret Calls the Dead. The first 2 modes, it's going to say mill 3 cards, then you may exile a creature or enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So usually this turns into 4 mana, 4 power on 2 zombies for 3 mana, which is pretty good. And then its last mode is that you get to gain X life and scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control, which is always going to be pretty good. So this card works really well. It really slaps in this deck. We also are running 4 copies of Death Baron. This is just a 2/2 zombie wizard, and skeletons you control and other zombies you control get +1/+1 and have death touch. So just lots of nice little synergies. It's not a deck that is going to just do any amazing combo punches. It just sort of slowly accrues and does good things. We also have 2 Ayara, first of Locthwain. Not a zombie, but just a great card draw in the deck, and also giving us 3 black pips for that devotion. You're able to first gain life and drain life whenever a black creature you control enters the battlefield, but also you can sack another creature and draw a card, which is just really good, especially with all the tokens we've got going around. Moving on to the 2-drop slot, we're running 4 copies of Lazotep Reaver. This is a budget deck, so we gotta throw some commons in there somewhere. And this gives us 2 zombies when it comes in because it is a 1/2 zombie, and then you amass 1, which makes you a 1/1 zombie token. Very good. We also have the Siege Zombie, again, another common really starting us off. We can tap 3 untapped creatures to control. Each opponent loses 1 life. Not a great card, but for a budget deck, it's a zombie. It's a 2/2 for 2. It's totally fine. For removal, we are running 4 Fatal Push at the 1-drop slot. We got to have some removal, and Fatal Push is some of the best in the format. We do pair nicely with the Ayara, which can sacrifice things, and Acererak can also get us to sacrifice some things in that dungeon, and overall it works quite well with Fatal Push. We're also running 4 copies of Foulmire Knight. This can come down as a 1/1 zombie on turn 1, or also it can draw us a card and kind of cantrip in the late game with that adventure side. 4 copies of Shambling Ghast I think is pretty good. Sometimes it can hit a -1/-1 against the aggro match. Can be quite good, but otherwise it can sort of ramp us by creating that treasure token. And then just running, keeping it very basic with 22 swamps. So overall, I think the deck has some good synergy. Let's get this deck fired up and show you what it can do. Okay, right off the bat, I think we have a perfectly serviceable hand. We can go curve out nicely, 1, 2, 3. We see our 3 swamps. I think this is exactly the kind of hand we want to keep. Also, Shambling Ghast gives us good defense if we are against aggro. Fatal Push can be quite nice in case we see anything that's much of a threat. I think this is a totally fine hand to keep. Now, we will really push this deck to the limits as a budget deck, as we are in Diamond ranked here up against Matteo Sartori. So we're going to go up against some real decks. I doubt we can hit a 50% win rate with this deck in Diamond, but let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe the deck is a little better than I'm expecting, but let's see what we can do. This deck more likely will be a great deck if you're just starting on Arena or you want to test out zombies and see if you like it. I think it could get you all the way to Diamond probably. I think getting to Diamond is not too bad if you get to know your deck and the inner workings of it, but we'll see if this is actually good enough to play some Diamond here. Our opponent is taking a really long time, so I'm going to go ahead and make a cut here, and then we'll just jump to the gameplay. Okay, so we are finally playing here. We're going to start off with this nice little turn 1 baby Shambling Ghast and see what we got. We do see Rafine's Tower, so we're playing Esper. So right away, I'm on red alert, probably playing against a Greasefang list or Esper midrange, which is also quite decent. We're going to go ahead and start off with this. They have not put anything in the yard, so that's fine. Unfortunately, Fatal Push doesn't have a lot of ways to get turned on at the moment with this deck in case they would slap down one of those Greasefangs, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, still just straight Esper, trying to figure out what they're doing. They might even hold back and hold up some counter magic. 9 lives. This is an interesting card. Hexproof, if a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more of these counters on it, it leaves the game and you lose the game. So let's go ahead and do this. I think they just... Okay, so they do get 2 counters for both of our creatures, so that's helpful. That is a little bit helpful. We do still are able to drain them, because it's a drain. They drain the life, and this requires damage. I don't know if that's good or bad for us, but it will be interesting either way. Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts. How sad. Good game, probably. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that with this deck. I guess we've still got the drain life going for us, huh? But I'm guessing this is like a combo where you just don't deal damage. Yeah, this deck is not suited for that. We're going to just pass. Good game. Okay, jumping into another game. On the draw again, I think Shambling Ghast into Siege Zombie and then trying to pick up our 3rd land is just fine. Let's see if we can make that happen here. So going up against our opponent, back to the basics, we are playing against potentially mono blue here. Let's see if they're interested in encountering our Siege Zombie. They are interested in countering our Siege Zombie. So some sort of control deck, potentially just straight mono blue here. Let's see, what to do. I think we just try to put in another Shambling Ghast. Sure. Hold up a Fatal Push in case they play something. They're probably not going to play anything small. But this could be like a Spirits deck, or that's an interesting one. Are they going to mill themselves? Is this like a Thassa's Oracle deck, probably? No, it's a self-mill me. That's interesting. Okay. Very interesting. So they got a mill deck here. We are missing our land drops, which is quite sad. Let's go ahead and get this Siege Zombie out there. They're milling us pretty good here, pretty good. Okay, let's see. There's our 3rd land. That will be very helpful. We can get rid of this Planeswalker that's doing so much work. They probably have like a Brazen Borrower here or something to protect it, but maybe not. Yeah, it's the same thing. That'll do. That will do it. I guess we could have played this first. Would have maybe did a little more work. So, awkward matchup here with the Shambling Ghast just putting in so little work. I do think Tymaret Calls the Dead is going to be pretty awkward here because they're already milling us, so that's unfortunate. And we lose our all abilities there, so that is pretty unfortunate. But let's go ahead and slap down the Death Baron if it can get through so that Jace can be turned off. That's pretty nice. Okay. Yeah, Tymaret is going to mill us 6. So I might even not want to play that since they're clearly running straight mill. Holy cow. Our turn. We didn't draw a land. Great. Go. Let's just put out a bunch of zombies and hope that that is enough. Let's hope that this is enough because he might be able to just mill us right here. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got exactly 12. Wow, that was shocking. Okay, that was a pretty weird win, but let's see if we can get another one. Okay, we are going first. We have a Siege Zombie missing the 3-drop. I think we're going to be a little bit greedy and keep it here and hope to find something to curve us out into turn 3. But I think we can find it. We'll have 2 draws here. We have a good amount of 3-drops. More 3-drops in the deck than anything else. So I think we'll take the risk, but also at least we now for sure get to play Siege Zombie. So either getting one of those 1-drops or a 3-drop here would either way feel kind of good. Dropping this turn 4, this turn 5, I think is pretty fine. Let's go ahead and get more zombies for us. So we're going to go ahead and amass with the Lazotep Reaver and just playing super simple, stupid, fair magic. And sometimes that's just enough if you're really curving out and doing things well. So let's see what our opponents got here going. It's looking like we're playing against a Jund deck. So most likely a Jund sacrifice deck. We'll see what they're running here specifically. Scavenger. I don't know for sure if they run this in. So this will help us push some damage through with our 2-drop at least. So we'll go ahead and see if he's interested in this trade. Probably not going to be. Land next turn into this I think would feel really good. Gain 6, drain 6. That'd feel really good on turn 5 I think. That would put a lot of pressure on. Or another Death-Priest could also be awesome. Because another Death-Priest would pump these all up enough to get through the Scavenger. I'm guessing this is a pretty tough choice on whether or not they block here. They're probably working out some math, so totally fine. I get that that sometimes takes a little bit to work through in your head. Depends on what's in their hand on whether or not this is a good trade or not. Probably for us, we would rather them not trade, I think. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's good for us, I mean, not correct, but I think that's fine. Pretty sure. Okay, so this is the Death Touch attacking deck that probably runs like Finn. Pretty solid. Also a 1/4 is just impossible to get through, so that's kind of a problem. Kind of a problem for us. Don't actually know if we can get through that. That might just be what beats us, that right there. Super stupid, simple. 1/4 Death Toucher might be all this deck needs to get shut down. This will help though. This at least lets me get through with my Siege Zombie. So 4 coming at you is pretty solid, and we're prepared to go wide. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Since his guy is a flyer already, let's take our 1 extra damage. We'll take that trade. I will pay that 1 and make myself a black skeleton. There's a 3/3. That's pretty sweet. That's feeling pretty good. Oof. Okay, well that was mean. Super mean. Now here, what's the play? Do we hold on to a zombie? Do we hold on to this and get it bigger? Right now it would drain 5, and then we could swing in and they could block 1, and so we could deal 5, 7, 9, 11. I don't think that's enough. I think we just play these 2, play slow, and then next turn we can play this and then have a nice big alpha strike, potentially for the W. So let's just let him go, and hopefully he doesn't have anything too crazy, or if he doesn't play multiple creatures, we kind of are going to be okay, because this is going to drain 7, and then we've got a super wide attack coming, as long as nothing crazy happens here, which he might just like burn the house down or something, and then we just get crushed. I think that's kind of fine. Let's go ahead and tap this, get our value. I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and drain 1 more. Ooh, this might change things. Okay, so the math so far, we drop this guy, drain just 5 now because we lost 2 pips. We drain 5, and then he blocks the biggest, so then we get through total 7, 8, 9, 10. Still not quite enough. But if I do this, I think we can now just swing with everything. Force a block if he wants to take a little thing, that's fine. Siege Zombies are going to do more work, and then this can hopefully close out at the end of the game. Excellent. That is excellent. And we will, of course, make a free skeleton. This deck is surprisingly kind of working. It's not bad to just play super fair magic, apparently. That apparently works in this meta. Except my computer's frozen, so I'll be right back. Okay, we were able to get back in the game. I think we should be okay. It looks like we about ran out of time, but we were able to just drain them. Sorry for my opponent that I had to wait. That's not my fault. It was my computer. Let's get one more. Okay, looking at this hand, it's a little awkward because we don't see any of those low drops that I think we really need for this deck to do well. But we do have a ton of pips in Ayara, and I think the Fatal Push we can just play defense for, being on the draw here. Good luck, Bryce needs a name. Well, Bryce needs a name. You have a name. Your name is Bryce needs a name. So how do you need a name if you have a name? Bryce needs a name. You tracking? Well, let's see what they do. With any luck, they'll just play something small on turn 2 that we can hit. Or even better, let's take off turn 2 and play something small on turn 3 that we can hit on the post our turn 2. But we'll see what they do here. Tymaret turn 3 might not be that bad. We're also just going straight to Acererak might also not be that bad. I would love for them to just drop a 2-drop next turn. Go tap land, 2-drop, we kill it, turn 3, we get wide open field to do whatever we want. What's our best play here? That's unfortunate. We cannot hit a creature boy with that. It makes me want to not do a Acererak. I think we'll just do Ayara. Put some pressure on. We can swing into Narset next turn. Seems decent. We don't need to draw a bunch of cards yet anyway. So unless he's trying to pair it with something special. So this is definitely the control deck. So we got to get under this thing or we're just going to probably get blown out. But let's swing in here first. See if they've got some kind of flashy boy, which they do. Hopefully he'll make the Samurai. Making the Samurai would be the best thing. If he just exiles this, that'd be a little sad, but also a great play. Yep, makes sense. This is just a sad matchup where Fatal Push and the hand we had, I doubt we can win this. They're just going to have way too much value way too fast. So I don't really think we can win this, but we'll go ahead and see what happens. Especially since next turn he probably just drops this down pretty much for free. And he doesn't need any creatures anyway. So Fatal Push just really is kind of backbreaking. Our Fatal Push doing nothing against the whole matchup just crushes us. And this is a super legit deck, so maybe we'll get lucky and be able to Fatal Push it and then get through and just kill this for free.
Guards, to me.
Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and take this for free, but then this is just a lot of value coming. We're going to play it out and see if we've got a chance, but it just feels like there's no way. Teferi is just doing too much for you. It's doing too much. Gets a free counterspell up, basically. Well, first thing that I want to do is go right here. And then I want to try to bait out a counterspell with the Siege Zombie. We get lucky. And then I want to try to Tymaret because this can give us multiple creatures to attack, but I doubt this is going to actually get through. He's probably got a Dovin's Veto or a Quench or something. Censor, yeah, that'll do it. Makes sense. Next turn, we at least get to do something, but they probably got some protection for us. He gets to draw a card. That's a lot going on. Probably not going to have an opening where we can get any card advantage back. Both of these probably just get countered. It's pretty interesting to see that now. I guess he wants the full value, plus he gets to exile. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. If he counters one more spell, I'll probably give it to him. But I just don't think there's really a chance, especially with all this mana open. That's just too much going on, you know? Let's see if we even get to combat. Sometimes you just win because they go away. Okay. Let's see if we even have a chance. I think we need to get this one because it can make guys, even though they're all bad. This is a nasty, nasty combo right here. Nasty combo. That's why it's a good deck. That's why it is a good deck. Okay. Get something.
For this?
Let's see what happens. Probably gets countered. Sure, I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. They just got too much value there. Good job, Bryce needs a name. Let's do one more game. Being on the draw, I think keeping 2 lands is fine. And if we can hit our land drops, we've got 3, 4, 5. So that's pretty good. Going up against a ramp will be a little bit interesting to see how we fare. It kind of seems like that's a bad matchup for us because we're both just playing creatures. And they're just going to have bigger, badder creatures. And without a Fatal Push here to hit anything important, I'm a little nervous, not going to lie. But we'll see how it goes. Finding 3rd land is good. That allows us to go next turn, swing in with a 2-3 and a 2-2. But this is probably just not going to be enough against this likely 5-drop here. I'm going up against Bamagi, who is someone I see on the ladder a lot. Bamagi, if you're watching, love playing against you. You're a good player. Maybe it's B McGee. I'm always saying B McGee. That's probably just game over, honestly. We'll see. It's probably just game over. Good job, Bamagi. Okay. Guess it's not technically over, but the amount of ramp they're getting is just absurd. They're going to play some 9-drop Godzilla on us and just crush us. Yeah, this seems like a bad matchup, for sure. Passed and collected company again? Probably. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Concrete jungle. Sounds like my kind of place.
Interesting choice.
Hunt is only beginning.
What are they running? Finale's pretty good. Yep. Okay. Ah, it's a combo deck. I played the same combo deck. It's on the channel. Except I did mono red. I love it. They're playing Birgi, Grinning Ignis, and the Witty Roastmaster is an infinite combo. Check it out. It's the first video on the channel, in case you were wondering. I don't think it's actually that good, but it's fun and interesting. What is this dungeon? Ayara is just better. We're going to try to set up the Grey Merchant win. He's trying to ramp into like a huge finale to put all these big creatures on the field. So he's just looking for that 3rd card as combo, which he already might have. This is a problem. This is a problem. If they've got the Ignis in hand, we just lose. Plus, he can just go get it. Well done. That's a cool deck. Very cool. Well, thank you guys for joining me. This is the infinite combo that's going to put us out of our misery. But hope you have a nice day, my friend, and I'll see you in the next one.